Hello and welcome to LFC Focus. I'm outside the Courtyard pub in York, where we have just watched Liverpool end up actually drawing the game with Arsenal. And you know, because of the way the game panned out, because of the way that equaliser was so late on in the game, it does feel like a bit of a loss, and it does feel like we've thrown away two very vital points, 2 points that would have been so important to get that full 3 points in this title race. But at the end of the day, I do think Liverpool has still come out with a lot of credit from that game. It was a mad game from start to finish. If you were a neutral, I'm sure you must have absolutely loved it, because it was end to end all the way through. Every team looked like they could have scored 5, they could have scored none. I thought a lot of credit also has to go towards Liverpool's defence. I think Van Dijk and Gomez were probably the men of the match today. I certainly think up until that goal, they would have been the absolute standout players for us, especially Virgil van Dijk, who time and time again, when it looked like we were about to concede, when Arsenal got themselves into really good positions and got behind the rest of our defence, Virgil van Dijk and at times Joe Gomez as well were popping up and making those all-important tackles, those all-important blocks that allowed us essentially to actually end up coming away with the point in the end. And obviously it is frustrating the way that it's all happened. I think in general, the attack just didn't quite click today, and I think if they had been at the absolute top of their game, they could have got a fair few more, because Arsenal's defence at times, especially in that first half, definitely looked like it was there for the taking. I think Mo Salah had a pretty good game, but was just crowded out. You know, Arsenal really put a lot of players on him to make sure they could deal with him. Firmino looked ever so slightly off it. Mane was, you know, neither here nor there. Sometimes he was great, sometimes he was a little bit off the pace and stuff like that. I think Fabinho was definitely an interesting performer, and I will talk about him an awful lot later on the roundup show, which will be out later on this evening. I think at times he was really good, at times he didn't quite do what we wanted from him. I think he certainly stuck to the basics well. It's something that I think John Gibbons talked about on the Anfield Wrap, and it was within the context of Naby Keita there. If you're not going to play well, if you're not on form, at least do the basics well, win your 50-50s and do what you're good at incredibly well. And I thought Fabinho did that well today in terms of his defensive play. He got in those dodgy tackles. Occasionally he just he gave away fouls and got that yellow card that he just needed to get under the circumstances. So I wasn't too frustrated with Fabinho today, and I think he did what we needed him to do within the context of the match incredibly well. It's just obviously so frustrating to come away with a draw after what felt like it was going to be a fantastic 3 points away from home. And obviously with us being in a title race, those are the kind of games you need to win, and it feels frustrating that we're probably going to lose ground on Manchester City now, but it's just the most important thing is that Liverpool pick themselves up now and make sure that they carry on getting points in those easier games, like the one against Fulham coming up at home and like the one with Watford away. So all in all, not a great result and not the best performance, but I think under the circumstances, a point is probably a fair return for Liverpool to take away from this game. Don't forget to leave your man of the match shouts, your player ratings, all of your thoughts on the performance down in the comments below, and I will cover as many as I can in the roundup video later on. Apart from that, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new around here, follow at LFC Focus TV on Twitter, and I'll be back later with the roundup show. Until then, bye for now.